So my next video is over the video relay system that is available to deaf people. The video relay system is a communication tool. It is used by the deaf people and hard of hearing, or if there's some sort of language barrier, they can also be used. It's a live video feed, so there's a CA, which is a communications assistant, and so they call like this person at the video relay system agency, and that person can help communicate like what each other is saying to between like the two people making the call. So they'll video in, and if like one person, or if they're signing back and forth, this gives them a way that the person can communicate the signs from one person to the words of another person. It is a 24/7 service, so it's available all the time. It's really important that it's available all the time because it's always going to be needed, so you never know when you're going to need to call someone who you might not be able to talk to easily. So the benefits of the video relay system. The first benefit is the speed of communication. So if you're doing a video, the person can very quickly translate what you're signing into English so that the other person can get it, and then they can transfer that back to you because they can do it as you're just signing, or as the other person is saying. So it is a free service. It has to be offered to everyone. It has to be available 24/7. So it is open to anyone to use. There's no texting or typing required with the video relay system, which is what a lot of people really like about it. So you don't have to be like able to text, and you don't have to wait for like a text message response. It's also a lot easier to communicate feelings through the video relay system because deaf people really like to express emotion, and it's really clear when they do that in person. But if you're texting something, it might not be as clear. So if the CA is watching the video, and the person's really mad or really happy, they'll be able to communicate that feeling and emotion towards other people easier than you would be able to in a text message. So there's also that it helps like there be a normal flow in your conversation. So that helps keep your conversation going and get the conversation through much faster than a normal text message or anything. And there's also, it can help communicate with people who speak different languages. So that's pretty nice that they can communicate these for you in a way that you might not normally be able to. It's also really helpful for like 911 emergency calls, because they can call this number and be able to communicate with someone so that that person can get them the help that they need, and it also helps them get a good location for the person so that they can direct like the first responders on where they need to go. So there are other options besides a video relay service. The first option is telecommunication relay service, or TRS. It's very similar, but that is like when they're using more like the text typing to communicate. So they send a message and then it communicates to the next person. To do that and to call like the service, they use a teletypewriter. So it's kind of like a telephone, but you can type on it, so it's similar to text messaging, but the other person will then get your message easier. And another way to communicate is just like traditional texting, video calling, stuff like that. That might not have been available until really recently because of technology. Another option, or another type of TRS, is voice carryover. So that's where the person who is deaf maybe can use their voice. So they want to use their voice to communicate, and then the other person can talk back to the CA, and the CA will sign or text back to them. So they might not be able to hear, but they can talk. So that's another option. Then there's speech-to-speech relay service. That's when they can talk and they can hear some, so that person is there to kind of just help them. Maybe they have a hard time speaking, so they have some speech disability, so that person is trained to understand them, and then they can communicate that message to the person and then that person's message back to them. And there's also shared non-English relay service, which would be if you spoke Spanish, so that is also available. Caption telephone service is similar, so they'll just type the captions of what the other person is saying as they say it, and go back and forth. And then there's also 711, which is similar to a 411. So you dial the number and it helps connect you to the telecommunication relay service for that area. So that's going to be really useful for a lot of people. And then those are my references. You can't really see very well.